You are listening to the Fitz and Healthy podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lauren Fitzgerald, also known as Lauren Fitz. I'm a medical doctor, a fitness instructor, an entrepreneur, a health and fitness coach, but most importantly, I am a lover of life. And here on the Fitz and Healthy podcast, I intend to give you a ton of great information and knowledge that will serve as potential power so that you can live a life by design and make it more fits and healthy. And don't forget to listen to the disclaimer at the end. I'm not your doctor, yo. All right, enjoy the episode. Much love. Ciao. Hello and welcome to the Fitz and Healthy podcast. My name is Dr. Lauren Fitzgerald and I'm your host, and I am accompanied by my lovely co-host, Cinthanie from Cinthanie.com. What's up, girl?
Hey, girl.
Hi, girl. Hi. So today is a special day because this is our first Friday that we have officially launched the podcast.
I know. It's so exciting.
So for those of you listening to this podcast, our first week of launch was absolutely bananas.
Oh my gosh. It's been the craziest week for real.
Yeah, no, I've been pinching myself all week because it's like, it's almost too good to be true, honestly.
Yeah. Each day has been progressively more and more like, wait, are you for real? Like this is for real. And the next day I'm like, wait, it can't get better than this. And it's just like, it's gotten better every day, which is awesome.
Seriously. So long story short. So today this episode, first things first, we are going to talk about excuses are like a-holes. And I'm going to try my hardest because I know that this topic I'm going to get very passionate about, and Cinthanie and I are going to try our hardest not to let any curse words slip out. But don't worry, our lovely editor, Robert, will bleep out anything if there happens to be a word or two that slips out.
We'll try our best to filter, but the subject is a touchy one.
This subject brings out, because hashtag Lauren Tough Love is something I'm known for, and excuses are something that I love to call people out on. We're all guilty of it. And anytime I talk about this topic, it always gets it ruffles a lot of feathers, if you will.
Yes.
But I want to talk about the podcast real fast because I'm super, anyone that's listening to a podcast, I don't think they realize how much work goes on behind the scenes to actually get it launched and get it going and make it good and make it a good quality, right? Yeah. Everything from the fine details of the sound to the topics to the timing, especially if there's more than one person doing the podcast. I mean, every time that we record, there's three of us. It's you, me, and Robert. And that, if there's a person that we're interviewing, then that's a fourth person. So there's so much that
schedules to coordinate, and we can't record. It has to be in the middle of the day, not at night, because everybody's on the internet at night, so it slows down. Like there's a lot of fine details that I had no idea to expect.
And then you guys are not in the same time zone that I'm in, so making sure it's just there was a lot of hard work that went into making May 1st actually happen. And we there's a book that both Cinthanie and I read called The 12-Week Year. I don't remember the author. Do you remember the author of it?
I don't, but I love that book.
We'll put that in the show notes. But this book is a book that Cinthanie and I we keep each other accountable. We're what's called success partners, and we read personal development books at the same time. And this is one of the books that we were reading. I don't know, what, about 3 months ago, 12 weeks ago about?
Yeah.
And we set the goal for launch date 12 weeks down the road. And that truly, instead of making it, like a New Year's resolution or whatever, like that really lit the fire under our butt. And May 1st, a lot of hard work happened, but in the first 48 hours, what was it? Was it 12,000 downloads?
I think so. It still gives me chills and just like makes my head spin.
I know.
It's insane.
It's crazy. crazy.
So even the first day, like I remember you and I were like, okay, Robert, like where are we at? And I would have been happy with any number just to know that at least somebody's receiving it.
Yeah.
But even just the first time Robert told us, he's like, we're at 4,377. And you and I were both like, what? And then the next day it was at 10,000. I was like, is this for, like, it's progressively. And then we were number 11 on iTunes in the health and fitness category. Right, we were above Yoga Girl. We were right next to Bulletproof Radio. Like
Shalene Johnson.
Yeah, Shalene Johnson was below us. She was below us. The Shalene Show and the Model Health Show were below us, which is things that, like, those are the two podcasts that I ever listened to. So I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no,
it's just been crazy.
It's surreal. And granted, the rankings change every day. And
they do.
And you know that, but our goal is to always be in top 10 of the health category on iTunes. And just a huge shout out to everyone that went and subscribed to the podcast, downloaded all the episodes, and left a review, because leaving a review is something that actually takes time, and iTunes does not make it easy. And it's not something that is just intuitive. Like you have to take some time to figure out how to leave a review. And I haven't looked today. I don't know how many reviews we're at. I know. Did you look by any chance?
The last time I looked, we were over 100.
Oh my gosh. So I don't think you realize how huge that is to have over 100 reviews.
Sidebar, all of them are 5-star ratings. Every single one of them. I know.
Totally gives me chills. So anyway, the point of this rant is that we are so grateful to every single listener, whether you're a new listener or not, that takes the time to subscribe to this podcast, to download every episode, and to leave a review. And of course, we would love for every review to be a 5-star. But we know we are not perfect by any means. We don't. We're open for good and bad feedback, and ultimately the show is for the listeners. And so if there is something that you think that a positive criticism that can help us make it better, we're open for that for sure. But just a huge thanks to everyone, because this first week, like it's true. Like we did on launch day, we interviewed Rob Dial. So if this is the very first episode you're listening to, you'll be able to listen to that episode. I think it's episode 12, maybe 11 or 12. Yeah. Robert's shaking his head. 11. Yeah. 12. Ooh.
Oh, it is 12.
Episode 12. But Rob Dial is a very well-known podcaster now. He's been one of the top podcasters for at least the last year that I know of. And he launched his podcast over 2 years ago. And when he gave me perspective of the fact that on his launch day, he had 40 downloads. It's crazy. I mean, it's absolutely
humbling.
Yes.
It's really humbling.
Yes. So okay. So the reason, was it yesterday I think it was yesterday that I messaged you guys what we're going to talk about on this episode, right?
It was. And it's so funny because you caught me in a mood. And when you told me the topic, I was like, let's do it. Like I was like so fired up about it.
Yes.
Because you speak to my soul. We're on the same wavelength about stuff like that. And so when you suggested it, I was like, yes, let's do it.
Yes. So the reason, and you guys know this, but for the listeners, the reason why I wanted to do a podcast on this topic alone, excuses are like a-holes, everyone has them, is because, so on my Dr. Lauren Fitz public figure page on Facebook, I posted a video that anyone that follows me online knows I love me some avocados. Like that's probably, if it's not my number one favorite food, it's definitely top 3. I love avocados. And so I came across this video that was this avocado restaurant, and they had every single way that you can think to make an avocado, and it looks so good. So I shared it, and someone posted, and if you are listening, if you are the one person that made this post, don't feel bad, because you're one of, you're an example. There are so many people that I practice tough love on. But someone made the comment, avocados are for rich people. They're $1.28 per, and us poor people can't eat that. And I just literally, like, I felt the internal flames just heat up. I felt my skin not blanching, but turning red. And
your blood boils.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because the very first thing that came to my mind was, and you said this perfectly on the text message yesterday.
You're just going, go ahead and say it.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to quote
so
Cinthanie.
many girls are about to hate me right now.
But I am endorsing this because I thought the exact same thing. Cinthanie goes, the fact is, she probably wrote that with her acrylic nails on her iPhone with her Starbucks in hand. And that right there is the truth of the matter, guys.
If the shoe fits, it might not fit very comfortably
I know.
But I can say that though, because I have been guilty of that.
Of course, both of us have.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We're not, I hope you guys know, we're not doing this in like a condescending way, or it's just a topic of discussion. We always promise to be real and honest with you guys. And so this is something that we're both passionate about talking about. So please know this comes from a place of tough love, like Lauren said, and not from a place of we are better and we're not guilty of this. No. It's totally not the message. So please know that up front.
And in this episode, we are going to talk about all of the ways, because I mean, I am so far from perfect. In fact, every day that passes, I'm like, oh, I've got so much to learn in this life, and so many ways to make myself better. Yeah. Because ultimately, if you aren't trying to become better every day, what's the point? Yeah. I mean, so many people just are stagnant in life and are just happy with
being okay.
Yeah. Mediocrity.
Not thriving, just being okay.
Yes.
And we have promised you that we will help you lead a life by design and give you every tip that we possibly can to help you do that. Yes. And sometimes it might not be the most comfortable thing to listen to, but we promised you to be honest and real. So
so the way, and for the listeners, we really, I mean, I prep in my head what I want to talk about, but really Cinthanie just knows the topic. And every now and then we'll talk about, hey, I want to talk about these points, but for the most part, she has no clue what's going on in my brain.
I try very hard to keep up with Lauren's brain, but most of the time I'm jumping through hoops with the topics. So if there's times where I'm like, it's because literally I'm thinking about it right then.
Terrible. I'm terrible. But the way that I want to talk about this episode of excuses are like a-holes is that I want to talk about the most common ways that people make excuses, because ultimately those excuses hold us back from being our best selves. Right?
Yeah.
And so obviously, because of the example that got me going on this, I would like to address the first excuse about the reason why people think that they can't eat healthy. Okay. And I will say I have never lived in poverty. I've been on my own since med school. My parents did help me during college. Sure. But since med school, so I was 21 years old when I started med school. So I've been on my own with no help financially from anyone else since 21. And in those years in med school, I wasn't truly in poverty level, but I mean, I definitely lived month to month because I was living off
college student.
Yes, because I was living on medical school loans, and I didn't have time to have a job because your job is medical school. Yeah. So I understand to a certain level what it's like to be financially strapped, and I, like I said, I can't relate to the people that are in true like we just got back from the Dominican Republic on a free vacation, and I was surrounded by all of these happy people on the resort. And then we go off the resort and you see the true poverty in Dominican Republic. And that's not even Haiti. And those of you that are geographically challenged, Haiti and Dominican Republic share the same island. Dominican is on one side, Haiti's on the other. And Haiti, the poverty it's one of the most poverty struck countries in the world, especially after the earthquake, however many years ago. But like that, I've never lived in that kind of poverty, and I don't understand what it's like. And but I'm speaking to the average American who makes the excuse that I can't afford to eat healthy, and I'm here to call bullshit. Yes. Okay. So the fact is that that is one of the most common excuses that I hear from people that tell me why they are struggling with their weight is, well, I can't afford to eat healthy. Do you hear this ever?
This is just, I really have to reel in how I feel about this.
No,
because
reel it out. Like, just let it loose.
Especially people my age. And that's why I use that acrylic nails and Starbucks, and not analogy, but reality, because so many people, especially my age, they are very materialistic, myself included. Like I have false eyelashes, extensions, I have fake eyebrows that are microbladed onto my face. Like, I'm not an exception to this rule.
Right.
But the thing is people, I just have the hardest time hearing a girl tell me, I can't afford to eat healthy, as she has fresh done nails and puts her iPhone into her Louis Vuitton bag. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't. Because the thing is you have to choose your heart. You have to choose what's valuable to you. If you don't choose that you're valuable to yourself, I don't feel bad for you when you say that you don't have the money to eat healthy, because it's bull crap.
Well, and here's the deal. The fact is that this is actually a myth that big food companies and restaurants want you to believe. They want you to believe that you are saving money by going to the fast food restaurant and ordering from the dollar menu, that you're saving money that way. And as for those of you that are not familiar with who Autumn Calabrese is, Autumn Calabrese, she is one of the super trainers for Beachbody. Her program is probably one of the most top selling programs, called 21 Day Fix. You can get it on infomercials. You can buy it from one of us Beachbody coaches. But the fact is, she really puts out a lot of great videos. And she did one video. She's a single mom, and she did a video where she basically showed misproving the misconception of it's cheaper to eat out at fast food than to cook at home. So she took a common meal from McNuggets and fries or whatever, and how much it costs, and then she went to the grocery store and bought some organic chicken in bulk. She bought some potatoes that were in bulk, and she made the same meal but with healthy ingredients. And she actually showed, not only is it healthier for you, but you actually save money. So the excuse that I can't afford to eat healthy is you're falling prey to great marketing from these big companies. That's one of the things that I love in our online groups when I'm coaching people on meal prep and whatnot. Like, a lot of them have the realization, like, oh my gosh, I'm actually saving a lot of money, because you don't have control over ingredients when you go to a restaurant. And even some of the healthiest restaurants still cook with bad oils like canola oil and soybean oil, and their soy products are not organic, non-GMO, and like 99% of soy products are GMO in this country. So even if you're going to a really, a restaurant that's known for healthy food, you still can't have control over all of these ingredients. I don't expect everyone to be 100% perfect all the time. I'm definitely not. And when I have, like, my parents are coming into town next week, and we will probably go out to eat at a restaurant. Actually, no, we won't, because I'm in the test group for Shift Shop, and I told my parents already, I'm like, I have to be following this meal plan to the T. So, but the excuse that I can't afford to eat healthy is something that if you, the listener, have ever said that before, I challenge you to take a week and really just put pen to paper. And if you're someone like, okay, when I lived in Oklahoma, so many of my friends that were moms would go to Chick-fil-A, and Chick-fil-A is a little bit better than McDonald's or whatever, right? But it's still fast food.
Yeah, it's debatable.
Yeah. I mean, okay, their oils are a little bit better that they cook with, but I mean, come on, let's face it. That food versus food that you're going to make for your family at home, it's a no-brainer. But I challenge you, if you're one of those people that you eat out a lot, just take 7 days. You can do anything for 7 days, and really look at how much money you spend on food. And then the next week, challenge yourself for 7 days to do everything at home I know that you will be completely surprised. Not to mention the fact that, like, going back to the avocado thing, one avocado, let's say she used $1.28. Okay. So one avocado, $1.28. So more times than not, now I can eat a whole avocado without thinking about it, but I try and eat easily. I try and eat about a half an avocado to a whole avocado a day. That's where I'm at. Right.
Same.
You are giving your body signals of all sorts of goodness, because remember, we've said in past episodes, food is either good or bad for you. It either tells your body good signals or bad signals. And so avocado is one of the healthiest foods that you can eat. One of the main things that your body is hearing is that, hey, these are healthy fats. And so right there, your body, your brain is getting the signal for, okay, I'm getting this nourishment. And more times than not, when people start to eat higher fat diets with lower carbohydrate and healthier fats, it's so common. They're like, I'm not really hungry anymore. Is that normal? I'm like, welcome to the world of you feeding your body what it's supposed to be fed. So you can't even monetize that or put a dollar value on that, because you eating even half of an avocado, you're not even thinking about food for the next 4 or 5 hours. Like, what are all of those snack foods that you're snacking on because you're eating foods that are causing cravings, that are causing you to think that you're hungry all the time, even though you're not. You're overly nourished by the standard American diet. Okay. What's your second favorite excuse? I mean, there's so many. I know. I mean, we talked about I can't afford to eat healthy, and we've called BS on that.
Another one is that I don't have time to work out.
I was hoping you were going to go here for number 2.
Especially in the Netflix and chill age that we are in right now. Come on. Like, if you have time to lay in bed at night and binge watch, and I'm saying this because I'm guilty, binge watch 10 episodes of Friends, you got 30 minutes to move yourself around. You got the time. I promise you do. Yeah. Like everyone says, you have the same amount of hours in the day as Beyonce. And you know what? She works out every day. So
I love it. It's so true. No, it's so true. I like to take my dogs on a walk every night. And I live close to Balboa Island. I don't live on Balboa Island, but Balboa Island is this tiny little it's an island just right off the coast, it's officially Newport Beach, but it's just it's a little touristy spot, such a cute place. And all the houses I love they're different style, and most of them at nighttime have their windows open. So I can see inside and see the different stories, the different people. And it's amazing to me how many people are just sitting watching TV every single night. And I'm not going to judge you if you're a TV watcher, but the fact is, if you watch more than 30 minutes to an hour of TV and you are struggling with your weight, your excuse of no time to look at your nutrition, change your nutrition and exercise is making, that's the reason why you are in the state that you're in. And if you have time to watch TV, you have time to learn how to eat healthy, meal prep. And not, I say meal prep, not everyone needs to meal prep, but if you have
time to cook healthy food.
Yes, exactly. How do you deal with that when people give you that excuse?
Something that kind of on top of that is that another thing is that people will be like, well, I'm tired and I just want to relax and watch TV. Like, you're lethargic because you don't take care of yourself. And then you think that you need to sit down and do nothing to feel better. And it's just like this cycle, totally just this cycle. I could talk about this forever. But one thing that I ask people, I kind of tough love them and say, look, like I said, it's the Netflix and chill generation. If you have time to watch Netflix, if you have 30 minutes to scroll through Instagram, you have that time. So I ask people, would you wake up even just 10, let's say you just wake up 10 minutes earlier and you do 5 minutes of yoga. And then the next day you wake up 15 minutes earlier and you do 10 minutes of yoga. You don't have to make, if to you, working out 30 minutes a day is just like too big of a step for you, just work your way up to it if you have to. But the thing is you, and I always tell people this too. I asked them, I say, okay, if we had to rephrase that, instead of you saying, I don't have time to work out, you say, I don't make it a priority to work out. Do you still feel the same about it? And they always go, oh, well, I didn't think about it that way. Exactly.
Exactly. It's perspective, right?
Yeah. You will make time for the things that are important to you.
So
and
true.
The number one thing that should be important to you is your self-care. That's, if there is anything that you have heard from this podcast, it's probably how much we push taking care of yourself in every aspect. Gosh, especially physically.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you have to make the time to move your body the way it was designed to.
It's all about perspective. And for those that follow me on Snapchat, they know that. So Wednesday, all week, like we said, I've been pinching myself because I've literally had the Will Ferrell permagrin on my face. Like, I can't stop smiling. I can't stop smiling.
Yeah, Snapchat is probably so over me right now.
Right?
Because that's been my snaps all week.
Well, so Wednesday, I woke up and there were like, I don't know, 16,000 downloads. And I went and I spent some time with new friends that I've made just in my first 5 months of being here in California, that are there. These chicks are just like, just blessings. And I went and took a yoga class with them. And then we went to this awesome hidden gem of it's like this Asian fusion restaurant that plays old school hip hop in the background. Yeah. Like really great, like Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. I mean, it's awesome.
The good stuff.
and I was brought there because my new friend Helen, she's actually from LA. She's Asian, and she's like, this is kind of my comfort food. And this person, the person who owns this restaurant, it's called LSXO, and you have to make reservations because there's only like 4 tables in the entire place, and it's in the back of this restaurant. So they're 2 restaurants, but they're not like, you can't order from outside versus inside. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the head chef of this restaurant is from her neighborhood that she grew up with in LA. And she's like, this is my comfort food. And so I left there just feeling this sense of just like, I'm so blessed. And then I get home and my home flooded. I know. I just moved out to California. For people that are listening to this for the first time, don't know who I am. I just moved to California from Oklahoma, and I'm renting. I was a homeowner, and I'm renting in this first year, deciding where I want to live, if I want to purchase a home, whatnot. And so the place that I'm renting, it's older. It's like 40 years old. So the pipes are a little old. And so the person that I'll just say that my laundry room and my bathrooms decided to vomit water in. Yeah, I know. But the fact is that it's perspective, and I could have seen that and let that ruin my day and ruin my week. Yeah. I'm going to have to get out of my apartment tomorrow because they're going to have to do drywall and all that kind of good stuff. Man. It's a pain in the butt, but it's perspective. It's how you choose to look at it. And just going back to what you're saying, like, if you change a person's perspective of, I don't have time to, I don't make myself priority, then it's like, all right. The way you see the world, you know, I was listening to someone just the other day on a podcast that made a good point. That is, if you have sunglasses on that are red shades, you're going to see everything through that shade. Right. Yeah. And a lot of the people that are listening to this particular episode need to change your shades. Because your shades are telling you that, well, all of these excuses, and the fact is those excuses are the reason why either you're not happy with your weight, you're not happy with your current job, you're not happy with your relationship, you're not happy with who you are, the person that you are, you know? So that leads me to the next excuse that I hear in relationships. And I will say that I was guilty of making excuses like this one for a long time. I'm not going to do it on this episode. I'm going to do it on another episode. I'm going to talk about my own personal story of relationships. But I was one of the keynote speakers at in Houston at an event about this time last year. And I talked about, it was the year of no excuses. And this was what I spoke about. And the fact is that my ex-husband, he's a good man, but he is an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And I made excuses for that alcoholism pretty much the entire time I was with him.
Yeah.
Those excuses ultimately hurt me. I thought that it was helping me stay in a relationship because that's what you're supposed to do, because you're not supposed to get married and get divorced and all that kind of good stuff, you know, especially if you're raised in a place that teaches you based on a religious belief that divorce is bad and you know, not looked highly upon from God and whatnot. But the fact is that there are so many people that are listening to this right now that are in really bad relationships, and you're making excuses for why you're staying in them.
Yeah.
And man, it was literally, I think it was Monday or Tuesday of this week. It was because it was when we were doing the live Q&A with Rob Dial, and there was a listener who posted that she left her alcoholic husband of 17 years after listening to my story and to whatnot.
Wow.
I mean,
full body chill.
Wow. Because you know it's much easier to live in that state of complacency and to let fear hold you back, because you know, whether you're in a relationship that is not mentally healthy for you, physically healthy for you, or maybe both, the fear of, am I going to be alone, is the thing that is holding you back from making that decision to go forward. And that's an excuse of it's easier to stay in this state of being versus facing the reality that this relationship is doing damage to my psyche on a daily basis. And this person in my life, and we don't even have to talk about spouses. It can be your blood.
It can be anybody important in your life, for sure.
There have been so many people that I've had to have tough love with, whether it be a sister or a parent or a spouse. And they ask me, you know, what would you do? And I'm like, I'm going to give you some tough love right now. But the fact is that person is doing nothing but bringing you down and bringing negativity in your life. And you need to do the Heisman and push them aside. Right?
If you are in a relationship that is no longer serving you, then you have to take because sometimes it's on the opposite, where you are not putting in an effort and you are blaming the issues of the relationship on the other person. Well, I pull my weight in the relationship, but this person, this, like, I have been so guilty of that. And thankfully my fiance is a tough love kind of guy. He's the nicest person you'll ever meet. Seriously, the sweetest, like, he's a living teddy bear for real. Anybody that meets him knows he's just the sweetest person.
Which is perfect for you because you're a fireball.
Exactly. That's why we work so well. But he is so good at giving me the tough love that I need, because I'm such a spitfire. I want to make sure that I'm right. Like, that's just for me. And luckily he is the ice to my heat, because he balances that out. But there have been times where I won't admit that I'm the problem because I just have too much pride. And so you also have to not have the excuse of saying that it's not you. You know, if it is you, you need to realize that and then act upon it and change it.
I really try my hardest anytime that I have some sort of conflict with, especially with someone I care about. I try my hardest to put myself in those shoes and really, really understand where their perspective is, and really take a look at myself from an outside perspective. Like, what am I doing wrong? And I think that so few people do that. When it comes to relationships, they make excuses that person did this and they did me wrong. And the reality is,
instead of communicating it, they're bitter about it, and they just use that as an excuse to just let that fester.
Okay. So example, what's your most recent time in which you've been given tough love from your fiance?
I
love that word. Yeah.
Girl, all the time.
For those of you that don't know, Cinthanie is getting married in 5 months, or are we down to 4 now?
I think we're down. Let me see. Let me look. 4 months. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
bananas.
gosh. Don't remind me.
No, I need to buy my plane ticket to make sure
I haven't
I'm there.
even sent out my save the dates yet. They're ordered. They're on their way to my house, but I haven't sent them out yet.
That's crazy.
I'm behind on the wedding planning. It's crazy to me that it's coming so fast.
Yeah.
But no, for example, I have really struggled. We talked about this in, I can't remember what episode, I've lost track, but we were talking about, it was the one where we were talking about entitlement. And how for me, my struggle wasn't entitlement, but it was accepting responsibility. Because I grew up in such a big family,
right.
I have 5 other siblings. So if I was supposed to be responsible for something, I always had somebody to pawn it off on and be like, but my brother isn't doing it or whatever. And as an adult, I can't do that. But it was just like, that was my way of not dealing with responsibility, essentially, is just blaming it on someone else.
Yeah.
And in a relationship, in an adult relationship where you're going to be married, that's an issue. Like, that's a really big problem.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's what I'm saying is I wouldn't accept the responsibility if I had done something wrong. I would just sit there and just try to justify it. Like, it was just my fight mode. Like, I have such a hard time being receptive when I feel like I'm being backed into a corner, instead of like being open about it and be like, oh, maybe you are right and I will let you be right. It takes me a minute to think that, like, that's not my instinct.
Right.
So thankfully he's very good about that, but I have the hard time of accepting responsibility of something that went wrong that was my fault. Like, right. My pride gets in the way. And so he like told me that straight up. He's like, you have a pride issue. Like which
that's tough love right there.
To tell somebody that has a pride issue that it's like they're either gonna kill you or burst into tears if you tell. But I needed to hear that because it was starting to become an issue in our relationship. And like, what a stupid thing to let clearly our relationship wasn't going to end, but what a stupid thing that I could have let continue to fester and lose my relationship with the most important person to me because of pride and not being able to accept the responsibility. So that's one thing that he's very, very good about. And I hate that he's so good about tough love.
I hate it, girl.
But I love it, know, because that's what makes us work.
Yep, for sure. So my next excuse that I want to address is unhappiness in the workplace. And this is something I see a lot, especially since I've gotten to coaching, where I get to know people on such a deeper level, people that I wouldn't have ever known on this deeper level before I got into health and fitness coaching. And man, it's amazing to me how many people have worked in the same job that they hate for year after year after year.
And they complain about year after year after year.
Yes. And
guilty.
My eyelash girl, because I too get eyelash extensions. They will change your life. I'm just saying.
A lazy girl's dream.
Amen. I used to, I had nice eyelashes. And I would always get compliments on them. Definicil's Lancome is my favorite, just for the record, mascara. But now I really don't wear it that often unless I'm doing a master class. I'll put mascara on my lower lids. But for the most part, lash extensions, they just make it where you just really, it's awesome.
It's just so nice to wake up and be like, oh, I kind of look put together.
Yes. So shout out to Joanna. Shout out to Joanna Young at Live Beautifully OC here in Orange County. She does my lashes, and she is one of the many examples of herself or myself and she are two examples of people in which were not happy in their current state and not being fulfilled, and decided to make huge changes against everyone's opinion, and are so much happier for it.
Yes.
And so for the listener that doesn't know, I was an anesthesiologist. I haven't practiced anesthesia since November of 2015, and it is May 2017 right now. And there has not been one day that I have missed practicing anesthesia. Not a single day. And I mean, just yesterday, I've got this cute chick who she's close to my mom's age, and she's now a regular in my class here at Equinox in Irvine on Thursday mornings. And she didn't know that I was an anesthesiologist. And she's like, you gave that up. My ex-husband was an anesthesiologist. They made good money. Why did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, it wasn't fulfilling me, guys.
Yeah.
Did I hate going to work? No. But did I hate getting paged in the middle of the night for emergency surgeries that screwed with my adrenal glands? Because being an anesthesiologist, you have to be on call. So I'm on call every 3 or 4 nights. And so that it jacks with my normal state of hormone balance, because, I don't miss that at all. Do I miss some of the friends that I made in the OR? Absolutely. And I'm still friends with most of them online, and they'll message me every now and some become customers of mine that I help in my challenge groups. So do I miss those people? Yes. But do I miss the OR? Oh, hell no. Not at all. And, there's one particular person that comes to mind. She's actually now a coach. She started off as just a customer. She was a customer for months, and decided that she wanted to become a coach. And she was literally on her private page on Facebook, she would post how much she hates her job, hates her job. And I think that if it weren't for being surrounded by other people that breathe positivity and life into her, she'd probably still be in that job. But she finally took control and said, you know what? Life is short, and I don't want to go through life hating what I'm doing 5 out of 7 every 7 days.
Yeah.
You guys, life is short.
You don't have to.
No.
Yeah.
And that's what kills me. And have you read The 4-Hour Workweek from Tim Ferriss?
I haven't.
That might be I would read that again.
Okay.
And I'll read that with you.
That'll be our next book.
That will be the next book that we read together. Okay. Or listen together. Because we don't read.
We don't read.
Audiobooks, baby. Audible.com. That's all I'm saying.
We're podcast and audiobook teams.
For real. For real. Dude, last month, this is a side note, squirrel. Sorry. But last month, audible.com had a sale, 50% off on every book that they had available. I dropped $300.
Oh my gosh.
On books. I'm not even kidding.
Oh my gosh.
So I got a lot of books to read. But 4-Hour Workweek is a great book. And one of the things that he talks about, I love Tim Ferriss. He's just a wise dude. You can learn a lot from listening to him on his podcast, reading his books. But 4-Hour Workweek is one of his top selling books. Mm-hmm. And he talks about this myth that we all live by, that, okay, I'm going to, work hard for retirement. And essentially the American dream it's this fake facade of, okay, you're supposed to, do this thing in which you just save up money, and then all of a sudden retirement comes and it's supposed to be, so wonderful. And the reality is, for 30, 40, however many years, you've wasted the best years of your life doing a job in which you hate. And not to mention, during those years, you probably aren't taking care of yourself because you hate life. Mm-hmm. And you comfort yourself with crap food and not taking care of yourself. And then you get to retirement and your health is gone. And this magical time period in your life isn't what it was supposed to be.
Gosh, it's so crazy to think about, because that really is the reality of the majority of American people, for sure.
Honestly, I think that was one of the books that kind of but helped me realize my why, because I truly, what drives me is to help people realize that, man, life is short. And we only get one life, and do not take it for granted.
Yeah.
Do not take it for granted.
Yeah.
So that leads me to my next excuse of just taking care of your health. And so I had a text message from a mutual friend of ours who is also a coach. She was listening to our podcast, and I don't know which episode it was that she was referring to, but she was listening to the podcast where I talked about, I wish that I could bring people into a hospital ward so that they can see what end stage diabetes looks like. And she messaged me and she's like, that really spoke to me because my father has a genetic disorder in which has led to kidney failure. He can't control the genetic disorder. I want to say he was born with polycystic ovarian, not ovarian. He has ovaries. Wow. No.
I was going to say,
no,
hold on. I'm not a doctor, but
polycystic kidney disease, or maybe he was born with one kidney. I don't. That was awesome. They're like, wait, is she really a doctor?
Laughing matter. I'm sorry.
No, but regardless, her dad has a kidney disorder in which he has kidney failure and he has to go to a dialysis clinic 3 times a week. And then her in-laws both have type 2 diabetes, which if you are a first-time listener, you will definitely be looking forward to the episode that I am going to talk about common disease processes that can be reversed, but medicine doesn't want you to know this. Big pharmaceutical companies and medicine in general doesn't want you to know this. And that will be an upcoming episode. So I can't quote which episode it is, but that is one of the topics that I'm really, really passionate about, because it never ceases to amaze me how many people don't understand that their type 2 diabetes can be reversed. Not type 1. Type 1 is the kind that literally your pancreas stops making insulin completely and you can't reverse type 1. But type 2, which is the most common kind, and we see it like it's an epidemic, can be reversed. And so the whole point of this is that she, when she was listening to the podcast, she was like, I've had a discussion with my dad before, how he wants the same thing. He wishes that he could show people like my in-laws what this really looks like. And I didn't choose this, but once you're going to be in the same boat, but you chose it. You chose the lifestyle that you are living. And it's an insidious occurrence. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you don't stop making the excuse to put your health number one priority, that is going to be your reality.
Yeah.
And man, the excuse of not putting my health and fitness number one, it's probably my biggest that just gets me, because these people that are given health conditions or health situations in which they have no control over, man, they don't choose it. But those of you that are living with type 2 diabetes, hypertension, autoimmune disorders that could be made so much better, if not totally made to be gone completely.
Yeah.
Obesity, you guys, you miss out on so much in life if you're carrying extra weight around.
Yeah.
I mean, I there's nothing that makes me more sad than seeing a young parent that can't play with their kids because they're carrying an extra 50, 100, 150 pounds. They're missing out, but they are making excuses for all of the reasons why their health isn't their priority. So this soapbox I could be on.
It like not to pick and choose, because all of this I could just go on forever about all of it. And the reason why, like I said, is because it's something that I too struggle with. It's not like I'm immune to excuses. Like I said, like I have a pride issue, first of all, which is like the easiest way to just not be responsible for the things that you're supposed to be responsible for. Like just shoving that away and just making that an excuse that it's not your fault and you don't have to deal with it.
Yes.
It's a huge excuse. And so everybody struggles with different excuses. Like I said, you have to choose your hard. It's uncomfortable to be stuck in a situation that you don't like.
Yep.
And it's equally as uncomfortable to do something about it.
And this gives me a great segue to the next thing. And this is I want you and me to become uncomfortable right now. So I'm going to talk about first, and I'm going to be uncomfortable, and you can be thinking about what is going to make you uncomfortable. But
Okay.
I'm going to talk about what excuse that I have been making that's been holding me back. Because, you know, a lot of people can see me and be like, oh man, you know, she's got her, you know what, together. See, you don't have to beep that out, Robert. Sorry.
We're trying hard.
Yeah, we are trying hard. But the fact is that, like I said, I am so far from perfect, and I have my own struggles and my own excuses that I make. And if you compare me to back 3 years ago, the video I like to refer to is the one Turn Down for What? It's where I'm wearing the very first rendition of I Heart Hip Hop tank. That was the very first time I even had the idea to, you know, have t-shirts that say I Heart Hip Hop. I sold them at my LA masterclass that I did with a girl named Medora. And that was back in, I think, January of 2014. Cause that was the year that the Broncos got killed in the Super Bowl. and so we yeah, I know. But I remember, because that video is one of the videos that has, you know, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 million views. And that was the video that was kind of like, oh man, I teach 4 classes a week. And there were a lot of mean comments on that, just about my weight in general. And I've never let comments like that bother me. But I did like have that reality check of, okay, I really need, what am I doing wrong? I'm teaching a killer class 4 days a week. I thought I was eating healthy. What am I doing wrong? And that's when I started really changing what I eat, my nutrition. And so if you compare my body now to then, definitely changed. But here's the but. I have been holding myself from going to that next level. And someone who, okay, I have a lot of people that follow me because I am real in all ways, that I'm not the perfect fitness figure. Like an average person can look at me and be like, okay, she doesn't have a perfect body, yet she's still killing it in her business, in fitness and whatnot. But the fact is that if I want to lead people the way in which I want to, I need to be ultimately the best example. And the fact is that I can pinch an inch or 2 on my waist right now. And I don't like, if I look at my One Love shirt, isn't that cute? if I raised up my One Love tank top, you wouldn't see a 6-pack. And the fact is that I want to be a role model in all aspects. I want to be a role model in how to love yourself completely. I want to be a role model in how to be confident in exactly who you are and love your perfectly imperfect state. I want to be a role model in how to be the healthiest, happiest version of you. And while I am so happy, like, I could be healthier. And my excuse, I think, has a lot to do with pride and time, because I have definitely, and I think it's more time than pride, but I think both contribute to my own personal excuse of holding me back from going to that next level. Because I'm busy. Like, people don't understand how great, like, I don't have, I mean, it's a good thing I don't watch TV, because I wouldn't have time to, you know, and it wasn't until I hired Leah, my assistant, full time, and she really got on board, that she was like, oh, holy bananas. I had no idea. And that has been the justification in my head for not truly sitting down with meal prep and really holding myself accountable to, okay, this is how I'm going to eat this week, and holding myself accountable to what I do for my challengers. I also make the excuse that I'm giving so much to my challengers that I'm not taking enough time for myself to do what I'm doing for them, for myself. And then there's definitely that element of pride of, you know,
we're a little alike.
So I'm really excited, because in my mindset, I'm ready to take my fitness to that next level. And you know, anyone who's listening to this, who knows what I look like right now, you might be saying, oh, are you kidding me? Is she really saying this?
Right. Yeah.
Look, I'm all about, we are all on that journey to being a better version of ourselves one day at a time. And they're baby steps. And if you have, you know, 100 pounds to lose and you're looking at me like, are you kidding me, Lauren?
Everybody's at a different point and a different season of life, and you have to appreciate that.
Exactly. And I'm being raw and honest with people that am I unhappy with my body? No, I've learned to love my body at all different stages and all different states. But I know that my body is ready to be taken to the next level. And my mind has been what has held me back. Making excuses from going to that next level. And so I'm really excited. I, right before I left for my 2 Club Fitz master classes in Ohio, it was literally the Friday that I left for Columbus. I got an email, a call, and a Facebook Messenger from Beachbody headquarters saying, hey, you need to go check your email because you've been chosen for this test group. And anytime, for those of you that don't know, so Beachbody has all of these different programs, anything from 21 Day Fix to PIO to P90X to Insanity, all these things that a lot of people don't realize are Beachbody programs. And before they release any program, they do lots of testing, and they have these test groups. And so to be chosen as one of the test group, you know, people, it's a huge honor. I didn't apply for it. It just came out of nowhere, but it's for this program that's being released this summer called Shift Shop. And it's, I'm so excited about it. We start on Monday. And I think that this is my time to stop making excuses and be like, okay, now I will continue to coach my own challengers, but now I'm going to become a challenger in this other group and take my own health and fitness to that next level so that when I stand up like this, I can raise my shirt and be like, look at these six-pack abs.
Be in a sports bra.
Yes. No. So the reason why I wore this tank that says One Love, is because ultimately, I did it for a reason. One, because I just got it this week. I love it.
It's cute.
It is cute. I got it 40% off too. But that's neither here nor there. But it does represent what ultimately is at the root of this particular episode. Where you would think that it's tough love episode. It's us calling you out on all of the excuses that are holding you back. But at the root of this episode is the love. It's one love. It's the fact that I really do care about you being the best you. And if you are not forced to face these excuses that are holding you back from being the best you are going to die at a moment of regret, where you regret not becoming the person that you are meant to be. You know? Yeah. So, and I wanted to show my burn, that I burnt my shoulder. I'm a little special. I decided to, do my hair and use the special curling iron, and I totally burnt my shoulder. People that are just listening on the podcast can't appreciate it. I know, but can you see the mark?
I can, now that you pointed it out.
Yeah. So those of you listening on podcasts, we actually always release these episodes on the Fitz and Healthy YouTube channel. So you can actually watch us if you want. There's some people that they prefer to listen by watching. But I prefer podcasts. So
I've had a bunch of people add me on social media this week from the podcast, and they're like, "Oh, it's so nice to put a face with the name and know who you are." And I get that. Like, I'm the same way. Like, I listen to the Model Health Show, right? And I want to know what his co-host looks like. Me too.
I totally have an image in my head of what Jade looks like.
I wonder if yours is the same as mine. Yes. But like, I'm the same way. Like, I want to be able to like identify a person with their name. So I get it, but it's funny because I didn't realize that I wasn't the only one that was like that.
Right.
So somebody commented and was like, "Oh, it's good to know, like, put a face with the name." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm not the only person like that."
Exactly. So are there any, because I mean, there are so many different topics or areas of life that people are making excuses? Or is there any big ones that I've missed?
No, but I'll tell you what, the one that you asked me to find one that's uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. Duh. Hello.
It's sitting here like trying
it's not just about me.
I'm sitting here trying to pick one. Well, we can skip it. It's
Nope,
cool. I don't have to be uncomfortable. It's fine.
Oh, that's awesome.
For me, so my struggle, and you and I think have talked about this before, because we are success partners, so we bounce ideas off of each other and we talk about our struggles and help each other figure it out.
Right.
My struggle has been that I like self-sabotage when I am so close to achieving the next thing, whether it's my fitness goals or whether it's a business goal or what. Like I used to be an 80% girl. Like this is one of the things that Tanner and I Tough Love talked about, because it's kind of an all-encompassing, this pride issue is all-encompassing. This is like currently something that I am working on. So I promise to be real and honest with you guys.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But is that I would be an 80% girl. I would 80% work my tail off to get to the next goal that I had, whatever area of my life. And then at 80%, I let off the gas because I just was like, I've worked my butt off. I can coast through to the end zone. Guess what? I don't hit goals that way. It doesn't happen that way. And so I just was like, why do I self-sabotage at the end when I'm so close to getting to where I want to be? Why do I self-sabotage? Because it's not like I'm like, okay, stop now. Don't do anymore. It just kind of, your brain just shuts off. You just think that you've done enough. And it goes back to the responsibility thing. And that's something that sounds immature, but truly, I think the responsibility that comes with success is something that has really scared me subconsciously and has held me back. So when I get close to accomplishing something that requires that, because as as with success comes responsibility. So every time I've gotten really close, even with just anything, whatever it is, I'll get to 80% and then I'll shut off. And so I have committed to no longer being a 80% kind of girl.
I wonder if that is due to you growing up and having so many siblings and being in,
But that's why I refer to that, because I truly believe that there's some kind of a root to every problem,
Definitely.
And it really, one of the things I'm even learning from this podcast, because we were talking about entitlement and all that kind of stuff on that episode. And it really made me think about it. And it really made me wonder, is that really where my fear of responsibility stems from? And I think it is. And just to know that that's the source, it's like, well, that's easy to get over because that was years ago. I was a kid, it's almost freeing to know what the source is, so that I know that I can let that go. Like it's not like something that I harbor, but subconsciously, I guess I do. So my commitment to being really uncomfortable is no longer being that 80% girl. I have to be 110% girl, because that's the thing is, like, Tanner's like, you have the hardest work ethic. Like, you're one of the people that, he said, you work hard and you go so fast towards a goal. He's like, faster than anybody I know. Like, you will get so close to a goal so quick, but you let go right before you achieve it.
That is tough love. That is
so.
Tough love.
But hey, y'all gotta know Tanner's still alive. I don't have him locked away somewhere. I'm crazy, but not that crazy.
Not that crazy. Not today, at least.
But he's very much so the balance to me. But so that is something that I'm committing to, because that's the thing is, I'm not willing. It's not that I'm not willing to do the work. I will do the work. I will work very hard, but it's just following through at that very last moment when it counts. Right.
We need to make a t-shirt for you, 100% girl.
I like that. Along with my other t-shirt that says, I know stuff about stuff.
Yeah. Yes. I was just listening to that episode this morning. I know stuff about stuff. Robert, you're going to have to write down all of these t-shirt ideas. That's part of your job. Okay. One last excuse that I do want to address that is specific for you and me, because we are in the realm of coaching. Is coaches who are doing the same business that we do, not being successful. And the excuse, and that was another reason why I've had to give a lot of tough love to my coaches that say they really want to be successful in health and fitness coaching. But when you look at their actions, their actions say nothing close to it. And that was another reason why the avocado post kind of made me go
it really
postal.
wasn't. I hope this girl knows it really wasn't her.
I know.
It was just like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Right.
So
well, it's a girl I actually know. It's a girl
Av-
that I actually know. Avocado Girl's I actually know her.
Hashtag avocado girl. Write it down. Duly noted, Robert.
Exactly.
We're gonna have a shirt that says "Don't be an avocado girl."
Yeah. That's awesome. We're gonna have so many shirts by the end of this.
Somebody's gonna message me and be like, "So where can I buy these shirts?"
Right?
So they don't exist yet.
Hey, but we are working on it because the shop online is gonna be awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited.
But that's one thing that people have so many misconceptions of what this whole health and fitness coaching is,
or even just being an entrepreneur in general.
Yes.
Not limited to this.
Absolutely. And so essentially that's what we are. We are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And I literally have only been an entrepreneur for 2 years of my life.
Same.
I mean, so this whole concept I'm learning every single day how to be better. And the fact is that entrepreneurs have all of the potential to have freedom in which being an employee will never give you.
Yes. Yeah.
And there have been so many times that I have just like pinched myself. Like, I'm so glad that I don't have to call a boss and ask for time off or like I am in complete control, and it's because I'm an entrepreneur, but not all entrepreneurs are in control because of excuses that they make that basically lead to them not being successful. And, specifically in coaching, it gets my goat because, when I have a coach that isn't doing anything in her business, it's her. I have a few male coaches, but I've got lots of female coaches that come to me and are like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I'll go back to the basics and I can't find any actions that are showing that they are putting any effort into their business. And, if you are, whether you're a coach or you have your own online business, or maybe you have a brick and mortar business that's not doing well, you need to have some tough love time with yourself. Like, what am I doing that is self-sabotaging myself?
Yeah. Like we just talked about, I had to identify what my self-sabotage was. And it's not, it's uncomfortable to talk about it with yourself, but try to sit here and talk about it on podcast, people.
I know, right?
But the thing is I know that I'm not alone on that. I can't be alone on that. And if I can be uncomfortable and share that and have somebody else receive that message and go, oh, I can fix that, I have control over that, then I will sit here and talk about all my skeletons in my closet, if that means that it will fix it, help somebody else identify it and fix it too.
So that leads me to wrapping the show up, because the fact is that we have touched on so many different topics in which excuses are holding us all back from being our best selves. But I hate it when people come to me with a problem without coming up with a solution.
Yes.
And the solution to this problem is, the first is, like so many other things that we talk about, is identifying the problem. And sometimes that, especially with this topic, it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the second step is to get someone or some bodies that are in your family or loved ones, friends or family, that actually care about you, that want you to be the best you, and get them involved in helping you overcome these excuses. So if you have, let's talk about the first topic. If you struggle with nutrition and your best friend has it down, or your sister-in-law happens to be a coach that helps people, reach out for help and
ask for help.
Yes. I don't let pride be the thing that holds you back from you being the best you, because that's what ultimately, that's the underlying problem, is that pride is holding us back from being great.
I had this is kind of random, but I had a friend that she goes to the gym every week, and there's this cute guy there. And she's like, I want to talk to him, but I shouldn't. And I told her, I was like, girl, you don't talk to him anyway. So what's the worst case scenario if you say hi and he says, go away? You're still not going to talk to him, which is what you're doing right now. And she's like, okay, you're right. So seriously, I mean, there's so good. There's so much, there's just, it's always an excuse. There's always some, and if you can just, like I said, you have to, for me, I have to look at it and say, what's the worst thing that could happen? Okay. Exactly. What's my worst case scenario? Right. So if I go try this outfit on, just random, if I go try this outfit on and I don't like it, okay, then I don't have to buy it. Yeah. But at least I know. And just essentially with anything, you will never know unless you ask, do, try. Just be willing, just be open to it. Oh, and be receptive to the tough love that you're asking people to give you. Don't go into fight mode like me, because it doesn't fix anything.
I know. I haven't gone to check and see if Avocado Girl has responded back to my tough love response.
Oh, you messaged her? Oh, you replied to the comment.
I replied to the comment in typical Lauren tough love fashion. I did. So I haven't gone back to see if Avocado Girl has responded.
Crap. Avocado Girl, it is all from a place of love.
And you know, she knows. She's been, I've known her for a while, so she knows.
And she knows that you are a tough love girl. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And anyone that has followed me for any given amount of time especially on Facebook, knows that I've got no problem giving tough love, but it truly is from a place of love. One love, baby.
Right.
One love. Right. For podcast listeners, my shirt, it's this rainbow, and at the bottom it says one love. It's so cute.
I'm just thinking of Bob Marley. One love.
I know. Exactly. If I could sing, I would bust out, but I can't. I don't. There you go. There you go. See, I don't have the Snapchat filter to sing to, because it covers the fact that I can't sing. So, all right. Well, we appreciate your time listening to us here on the Fitz and Healthy podcast. If you haven't already gone to whatever application that you use to listen, a lot of you listen on iTunes, but there's Podbean, there's Stitcher, there's a few different ways that you can subscribe to us. Yeah. Please go subscribe, download all the episodes, and leave us a review. That helps us in a lot of different ways to be able to know what you want, and to make sure that we give you what you're desiring to hear about. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, this show is for you. So hope you have a lovely day, and go and live a life that is more Fitz and healthy. And before we forget, Cinthanie, tell them. What do you want to tell them?
You are a good person, and you deserve good things to happen to you. Don't let your excuses get in the way of that.
Amen. Amen. All right. Much love, guys. See y'all later. Ciao. Make sure that you find us on social media. You can find Cinthanie on Instagram and Facebook at Cinthanie. So that's CINTHANIE, and on Snapchat at Cinthanie P. And find me on social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at Club Fitz Fitness. Remember, that's FITZ Fitness. And on Snapchat, just at Club Fitz. I appreciate your time listening so much. If you enjoyed this episode of the Fitz and Healthy podcast, can you please go do me a favor and go subscribe at whatever platform that it is that you listen to podcasts. Leave a review. We read every single review, and we appreciate the time that you take to leave your thoughts and opinions. Now, also remember, while I am a medical doctor, the information I provide here is not intended to provide medical advice or a professional diagnosis, opinion, treatment, or services to you or to any other individual. I am providing general information for educational and informational purposes only, and it is not a substitute for medical or professional care. You should not use this information in place of a visit, call, consultation, or the advice of your physician or other healthcare provider. The information I share is not intended to treat, cure, or diagnose any disease or medical condition. If you believe you have a medical emergency, just call 911 immediately, or your physician. Now, enough of that medical legal jargon. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I appreciate your time. Now go live a Fitz and healthy life.